Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the first Outlaw Way Podcast. It is me, John Michael, better known as The Boss, here with my co-host, Nakia Nacho Jackson, paramedic, and unfortunately Sparky, sitting right beside me. Tell him, hey, Nacho.
What's up, guys?
And I got my other co-host over here, Chip Cheeto Pierce, former MMA fighter, and for some reason we have got another Sparky in this chat over here. I don't know how that ended up happening, but we got 2-for-1 deal here. Tell them what's up, Cheeto.
Sparky. We're going to start using the word Sparky now.
I mean, you might as well. It's what you are. You can't hide it.
Can't hide it.
And for our last host over here, we got professional angler Tyler Stewart. No relation. I'm the better steward in the group. Tell them what's up, my man.
What's going on, guys?
All right, now y'all have tuned in. This is the first episode of the Outlaw Way Podcast. We're going to cover a lot of topics. We're going to talk about a lot of shit, but mostly we're probably going to end up roasting the shit out of each other every single chance we get.
Oh, you know it's
No, not us.
Today we are going to be talking about the simple as it gets question. What's the best trade out there? What's the best job, worst job? Me personally, best job there is going to be a millwright because you can do anything under the sun, no matter what you want to do. You can weld one day, operate the next. It doesn't matter. You're never going to get bored. What you got, Nacho? What do you think the best thing out there is?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to lean toward the old Sparky job.
Yo, smart job.
You know, I've been on a lot of jobs, but you watch electrician.
Yeah.
Man, they don't do nothing.
Exactly, man. It's like this. I will tell y'all right now. If you want to live a long life in the blue-collar field, be an electrician because you won't do shit for the first 12 years.
That's
Yeah,
right. I'm with you on that.
What about a crane operator, like on a rig or something? He's sitting in an air-conditioned box way above everybody.
Not only just sitting in an air-conditioned box. On rigs I was on, that dude only come outside if there is a boat tunnel.
Yeah, he does what he wants to when he wants to. And what are you going to do, climb 200 feet and tell him to stop?
Now, don't get me wrong. Now, a crane operator is an amazing job. It's an awesome job. But a rig crane operator, don't sign me up. I'm not one for the deep, vast ocean, okay? If I can fall over, if I can fall over a rail and possibly get eaten by a shark,
You had better.
I'm out.
You had better be good at handling stress if you want to be a rig operator.
Oh, I do not. I'm not a rig kind of guy, okay? Land rigs, sign me up and put me in a man camp. You talking about on the water? I'm not fucking with it.
I don't know. On a land rig, my wife can still get to me. I think I'd rather be on the water.
That's all right. Don't listen to him, Tyler. What you got?
Every one of my buddies, that I graduated high school with, that went and did the land rig, I get Snapchats every day of them sitting in the truck.
I'm telling you what, a land rig is not a bad job if you've been there longer than 2 years. But that first 2 years, I got some buddies out there. They said, if you're not getting your ass worked into the ground, it's because the rig shut down. You're getting fired.
I've actually got a buddy that all he does is sit in the truck and watch valves to see if they do something. But he's had to put his truck, brand new truck, like a 20 model.
Yeah.
He's had to put it in the shop 4 times in the last 8 months because it sat there and idled for so long and just ran in place that it just quit.
Gas or diesel, man. That's why you got to get a diesel truck.
I think it's a gas.
Diesel's the way to go for that route.
Oh, yeah.
They'll idle all day long and not worry about it.
Well, not these new ones. These new ones are cut off on you unless you got a little tree. You got to put them in neutral or something like that.
All that. I got an old 18 model. I mean, I guess it ain't old, but it ain't got none of that fancy emissions no more. A good Sawzall and $20 and a
Yeah, you cut that stuff
area.
off right day one.
Yeah, we cut all the emissions out of it and everything, but it still does the idle crap. I don't know where that comes from.
That right. So I don't know. Crane operator. I feel like we all good. Those are all good paying jobs. But this is also a good paying job. But I've tried it. I didn't like it. I've been around it a lot. Not just concrete work, but finishing the concrete. I'm talking about you're down there on your hands and knees for 8, 10, 12 hours a day.
Yeah, that's not the top of my list.
My daddy taught me years ago, concrete trade is a survival skill.
That's what I'm saying.
You learn that just in case you're about to starve to death.
Yeah, it's the same as roofing.
Then you go pour some concrete.
Yeah, it's the same as roofing. Right. Concrete and roofing are like at the bottom of the list, and if you have to do them, you do. But if there's anything else, like if there's anything else I can do, I'll do that.
Got that right.
Yeah, it's like clean out the septic tank.
Yeah, it's like
I'll clean out the septic tank before I finish concrete all day long.
And I ain't scared of hard work, but concrete's a lot more than just hard work. That is literally the definition of back-breaking work.
Every day that I've done concrete, I go right to the edge of death. Like literally, I'm in the middle of a heat stroke.
Tired.
There's a difference in hard work and hard labor.
Oh, then it is hard labor.
Hard work is an ethic that you need. If you want to succeed in this world, you need an ethic of hard work. Hard labor is just because you're not smart enough to find hard work.
And I'll tell you what, and some people love it. But I'll tell you what, I've been on a lot of big jobs and everything like that. Full plant builds from dirt to people are working there full time. And the concrete guys, out of everybody else, I say the concrete guys are the motherfuckers that you do not want to fight because their forearms are like NFL footballs.
You see the dude on
Suckers
TikTok?
hit you.
You see the
It's
dude on
hard.
TikTok, the old guy, the young guy owns the concrete, and the old guy does all the work. And they're always, I can't remember his name, but his skin looks like leather.
Oh,
he
yeah.
never wears a shirt. He's probably in his 60s. He's been in concrete for 30 years. He's about 5'2".
You just
He
described
probably-
every concrete guy I've
Well,
ever met.
He probably weighs like 145 pounds.
Yeah.
But watching him on video, I wouldn't fuck with him.
Oh, no.
Like,
no,
he
no.
just got that look to him like, that dude, he'll drink a beer, whoop your ass, and finish
Well,
your
this
I was what I was saying.
talking to
Listen,
John
man,
Michael Stewart about this is kind of odd, but because I got to bring up the one trade that most people don't consider a trade. But I came up as a paramedic, worked on the ambulance, then got into the
I'll tell you.
trades out in the field. So when I went to an oil rig, I was a safety man. So it's an
I hate a safety man.
And I'll tell you what, though.
everybody does, but it was a job I loved. I mean, I absolutely loved
I'll
my
backtrack.
life.
Let me backtrack.
I did it for a couple years, man. I did it for like 18 months. And it paid good. I didn't have to physically work, honestly.
You
But
wore the
amount-
nice, pretty white hard
I
hat,
did.
no
I
scratches
did.
on.
I had the
Well,
yellow vest. I had
Here's
the
the
nice
thing.
shoes.
I don't hate a safety man. What I hate are the safety man, like, take bouncers, for instance. I don't hate a bouncer, but a bouncer that eats and breathes bouncing and goes home and watches Roadhouse and jacks off and then goes back and bounces again, that's the safety guy I hate. The guy that's like every single
It's not a
little
job.
thing.
It's his fucking life.
Yes, that
Yes.
dude is a fucking nuisance.
I'll tell you what, though.
Yes.
I've loved damn near everything I've done. I've gotten fired for most of them. But the safety man thing, man, when you talk about doing that, from doing it, being the person, the paperwork is so fucking bad.
Oh, it was horrible.
It's like somebody gets a splinter in their hand and decides to
Yes.
tell me, homeboy, I wish you wouldn't have.
that was
now
constant.
we
That was
gotta have
constant.
18 pieces of paperwork saying that it was disinfected. I gave you a Band-Aid.
I think when I had
That's
that
because
job-
society has gotten stupider.
I think when
That's
I
the
had
problem.
that job, that was
Telling
the biggest thing that I said was, you didn't tell me that and just walk away.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm telling you.
shut up. I
Mum's
don't
the
want to
word.
know.
Yeah, like I don't want to know. If you're not
Stop.
dying or you don't want to make a report, don't even bring it up.
It's
Because
a
then
level.
Yes.
then I have to.
It's
Now
the
I
level
have
of
to do
stupidity.
something.
Yeah.
It's the level of stupidity. Oil rig. I lost my train of thought. The roughneck.
Yeah.
So 20 years ago, roughneck's out there, cuts his finger. He wraps it with
wrap that
tape and
shit
goes
up
back
in
to
a
work.
roll-on.
Yeah.
Now the roughneck cuts his finger, calls his mama. His
Oh,
mama
yeah.
calls the safety guy,
Yes.
and the safety guy goes and gets the company man. I mean, it's a big.
And
There's
then another
It's a
thing,
whole loop around.
Flipping back a little bit, a few minutes ago, Tyler was talking about the land rigs. And I'm going to tell you, many years ago, I worked on the offshore rigs. We had 300 people on a rig.
Yeah.
There was positions for everything. Here later in life, I go to a land rig. We had 6 motherfuckers running the whole damn thing.
That's what
Like,
I'm saying.
I'm talking
Everybody
about-
did everything back in the day.
There's no way. Like, go to
Yeah.
a land rig, number one, that is not for me.
Yeah.
if you're
Uh,
18, 19,
but-
20.
Oh yeah,
But
But if you're 35,
Yeah.
But
no.
an
no
offshore
family, no house.
an
That's the way to go.
offshore platform.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking from roustabouts, roughneck, floor hand, mud man. You got it all. Well, you go to a land rig, there's like 6 bitches doing everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're working your ass off.
I
But
always
straight
talk
out of
about
high
it.
school, though, I mean, like, what else could kids do to go out and make that
It
type
is-
of money? I mean,
How
It is
about
the
pay
best way to
attention
make
and
money.
get a
It's
trade?
amazing.
I mean, that as well. But I mean,
How
But
about
let's
you get
talk-
a trade, you focus a little bit, you don't live in your mom's basement, you're independent. Like,
And I'll
let's
tell
do
you-
what we used
let's
to do.
stick to that for just 1 second, Tyler, about because I am sick. I have heard over the last month or two so many people like, well, I'm looking for a job. I'm like sick of hearing it.
All you got
We
to do is
get
look
phone
around.
calls. Everybody comes to us because we are more successful. We stay busy. We have things going. So people reach out, make phone calls, email, DMs constantly
Yeah.
with who's hiring.
Everybody.
Everybody. I just made a
Everybody.
video the other day, and I told everybody, I was like, in this day and age, if you are looking for a job in the trades or a labor job in general, if you want to work, you will work.
Well, that's
Yes.
the problem. The problem is expectation.
Yeah.
They're expecting to be the freaking boss on day one. They
Oh,
don't
yeah,
want to
for
start
sure.
at the bottom and
And I'll
work
tell you
up.
what, I always hear people, they always give me well, they didn't pay enough. And I'll ask them, well, how much they were paying? Well, they were only paying this for start out entry. I'm like, well, that's what you are. You can't walk in and make $30 an hour as a helper. You have to walk in and make 15 for the first 2 weeks, then go to 25 because you're worth it down. Right. You know, a lot of people my age, and I hate to say it about my generation, is we have our expectations so high for absolutely no reason. Nobody owes us anything.
Because you were told your whole life you're number one. You got a trophy for everything. You were always put up here, and now you get put out there, and somebody goes, and you're like, what is that?
People need to understand that there are winners and there are losers. You can start a loser, but you can become a winner.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's not hard. A little work, a little ethics goes a long fucking way in today's day and age.
And you can lose after you win, and you can win again.
It is a roller coaster.
Another huge thing is because me and Chip still do lots of interviews for our employees, and the people come to an interview so unprepared.
Oh, yeah.
And people will say, well, I can't find a job. Okay, well, I'll tell you this. We are absolutely not hiring at the moment.
Yeah.
But if somebody walked in and put in an application and they impressed us and they had a good head on their shoulders and they made sense.
Didn't you mention this in your video?
I did. If you
we would literally create a position for them because those people are so few and far between. So even if I don't have an opening, I will not let a good candidate come through an interview without me finding them something.
He touched on it yesterday.
So I can hold on.
I did. So the other day I was talking about a lot of people that I used to interview because unfortunately I was always either a supervisor or foreman, something like that. On the jobs I went to, we would always try and hire locals if we were able to, or try and hire new people that would come in. Well, I mean, I would get a guy walk up to me in flip-flops, basketball shorts, and a wife beater.
No.
And I'd be like, okay, my man, well, what are you applying for? Well, I'm a A1 top-notch welder. I'm like, okay, awesome. Great. You probably can weld the fuck out of something. But do you have any type of resume, credentials? Do you have anything to prove to me that
because the flip-flops aren't talking.
Yeah, the flip-flops and stand-up basketball shorts and wife beater, you might be the best welder in the world, and I don't know it. But you're not showing me that. But the next guy that walks up to me, and he's wearing a pearl snap starch jeans, work boots, and's got the head under his arm. Homeboy, I don't even want to see your credentials.
Yeah, just go to work.
Go get a fucking machine. You're hired, baby. And presentation is 90% of an interview.
People and part of that presentation, wrong. I'm telling you, I can't tell you how many applications we get in our hand. We walk in to do an interview, and I cannot read the application because they slopped it on the paper so bad. I'm not even sure what their name is when I'm walking into the interview. And already I can tell they don't give a shit.
Oh, yeah. I have interviewed a lot of people that I've had a bunch of people work for me, the older generation, that could not read and write. But they were top-notch hands.
John, we've had them, they write their name down.
Yeah.
And it's kind of smudged like he's talking about. But you can make the letters out, but you don't really know what it is. And you ask them, what's your last name? And it's something completely different than they wrote. I'm like, why'd you write this? Well, I never learned how to spell my last name. You never learned how to spell your last name.
And that's crazy to me, that's raising right there. That all goes back to the parents.
Oh, yeah. All day.
But I'll tell you what, though, far as interviewing and stuff like that, if somebody walks up to me and just straight up does not act like they even want the job, don't worry, you're not going to get it.
Yes.
Because if you don't want to work here, then you don't have to worry about it because you're not going to work here.
But
I don't care how bad I need somebody.
They leave your interview and they get on social media and say it was your fault they didn't get the job.
Exactly. They will.
And another thing I've heard you hit on before is it doesn't matter really that they know everything about what you're doing. It's their attitude, the fact that they're willing to learn. We don't mind training people.
Oh, not at all.
90% of the people we hire have no idea how to do what they're coming in to do.
My favorite answer.
CNC machines and the lasers and nobody knows how to run that stuff. But we hire people in here with no experience. We'll train you if you're trainable. So when we interview, we want to see that the guy is trainable and interested and wants to learn and has that
best answer in the world. No, sir, I haven't done that, but I will give it 100% and do my best.
I mean, what more
come on, buddy.
I would rather somebody fuck up full speed with a smile on their face, trying their best, than somebody walk in that knows how to do it and act like they're being drilled here every day.
In today's world, if you show effort and you take responsibility when you fail, I will pay you every week for years and years to come.
That's what I'm saying.
Knowing you'll never be able to do the job, but at least you got ethics and hard work and you care.
Yeah, and my favorite type of employee is one that will accept fault. I fuck up all the time. I used to tell my guys that all the time. You know,
we know.
It's like
look at the rims on your
look
truck.
Look at Tyler. Look at Tyler. Yeah. We sponsored Tyler. He ain't won a fishing event in like 9 months or something.
What are you doing, Tyler?
Come on now, y'all gonna throw me under the bus like that? I mean,
we had to get you in the conversation.
I mean, you know, a lot of the stuff you guys are talking about is a little unrelatable for me. You know, I went straight out of college into fishing, which sounds great, but you know, when you really get down to it and you really, you know, you're doing it, it's really tough. I mean, it's a full-time job too. And, you know,
for sure.
There's a lot of hard times, you know, you've got ups and downs, just like, you know, any other job. I mean, there's been times where I've been so close to just giving up, you know, and then, you know, have that breakthrough tournament, you know, get me back going and I'm, you know, happy again. So
I will say this, ever since we've started sponsoring Tyler, the fishing profession, I don't know any other profession where, like, when you get a job, you know what your job is. And every day you go to that job and you kind of have an idea of what you're doing that day or what you have to achieve or accomplish. He goes to a lake day one and this is the condition and he's doing this and it's fine. The very next day, that condition is 100% flipped 360 degrees. Now he was on 5-footers, now he's on 30-footers. The water temperature was 50, now it's 80. The sun was coming here, now it's there. The
weather
wind
changes, barometric changes.
So his profession is like so unpredictable. I truly did not understand before how difficult it was to be, because
we have the only sport in the world where you can go win 1 week and blow the tournament out, go to the next event and get dead last.
Right. Like it shows you on the surface that I want to be a professional fisherman. You don't realize how much work's in that shit.
Pure shithouse look is something you gotta have.
Well, I mean, you got to be lucky, but you got to be good too. Put yourself in that right situation. You know, you just got to keep doing that until.
And you got to have a set of balls, son. When there's 150 boats leaving at the same time, and y'all are all running 85 miles an hour in 30-footers across the lake, you got to have the balls to hang in there. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm pulling back, bro. I'm fishing back here. Like
I'll fish at the dock. I'll see when y'all get back.
And there's a lot of at stake too. I mean, you know, we got $6,000 entry fees for every event. So, you know, you can go make good money, but up until this year, you know, they paid top 75. Out of 150 of dudes that are really freaking good, you get 76. Not only did you lose that $6,000, but you also lost $3 or $4,000 in travel expenses. So
the wear and tear on your truck, the wear and tear on your boat, all your fishing equipment.
Riding a little sunburn to go along with it. Man.
Yeah, but it's a grind. But
then that dude catches the fish and calls you like ecstatic on cloud 9. Just that's awesome.
That's what I'm talking about. But back to the main topic here. Me personally, I'm going to swing it all day long. Millwright is the best trade that you can get into, period, because you honestly don't know what you're going to do from day to day. You're going to do anything under the moon, anything you want to do.
I can see millwright.
Anything you want to do, or they can use you anywhere they want to use you.
Anywhere they want to use you.
I can see the millwright side of it. With if you're the type of person that likes to mix it up all the time and don't like to do the same, I can see that part.
I get bored.
But being the best profession. Being the best profession in the trade, I don't think millwright's it. I don't even think crane operator's it. I don't think I've even decided what's it.
Who else would have a job where they can get to go? They can do something different every day, no matter what. Plants, mills, land rigs, whatever you want to do, you can find a place for yourself at that location. I love it.
So if you had to start over right now in a career, blue collar, you would choose to go
precision
millwright.
Precision millwright. I would take out the general millwright quality and I would go into the precision side of things, because when I was up in a precision millwright, I took some courses. I got out there.
Well, that was going to be my next question for the new guys out there. Guys graduating high school, would you suggest that they start out bottom of the line, entry level position, right out of the gate into a job, or should they go to a trade school and get some type of education?
Trade over college, baby. Trade over college.
Applying?
Always trade over college. But here's my thing. I'm 50-50 on it. I think if you know what you want to do, go do it. But if you're not really sure, I would find the biggest shutdown or turnaround period. The biggest one that you can find in a couple states. I'm talking about get a fucking hotel and go over there. Ask
Yeah,
your mom
don't
for
be scared to
$200.
travel. Don't be scared to travel.
Get out there on the road. Hire in as the lowest paid helper that you can for anybody that you can.
Yes.
And go out there and look at everybody. See what every single person's doing. See the fitters, see the welders, see the operators, see the administrators, see the safety people, see the electrical, see the plumbers. Get your eyes on every single trade out there that you can. Talk to the people that are there doing it. Watch what they're doing and decide which you think you would prefer to do. Because honestly, a lot of people will go to trade school and college both, get a degree in something, and 3 years later, either not use it at all or completely and totally change it. Because they thought they wanted to do something, but they didn't know anything about it in the field.
Right.
And then they'll realize, well, I mean, it's good.
Get an
I
entry level position. Go out there.
Get
see
an
the
entry level
different
position.
jobs.
See
And
what
keep your
options
mouth shut.
are. Yes.
Don't go out there bragging about what you can or can't do or what your daddy taught you or none of that.
Oh, you got to
go
listen,
out there
man.
and prove.
These kids today don't listen.
Go out there and prove.
They already know.
Work your ass off. Or show everybody that you're a hard worker, and that will get you up the ladder faster than anything else, in my opinion.
But another question: I've been running companies for a lot of years, so back in my day of going out looking for the blue collar job, I literally go door to door. I borrow some gas money, get my car, drive down to South Louisiana, and look up in the phone book for oil companies.
Yellow Pages, baby.
And literally go knock on the door.
Yeah, the non-existent.
I've done that 3 different times where I went down south, Galveston, Houston, go to their corporate offices, knock on the door, and not leave until they let me fill out an application.
And I'll tell you what,
Persistent.
it's still like that in some places. Like Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Well, that's plant
New
country.
Orleans.
That's plant country.
Houston. That's plant country, baby.
Yeah, when you travel
If
from
you-
Houston to Beaumont to Lake Charles to that's
if you
plant country. That's
cannot
old school.
find a job with steel toes and a hard hat on your head, it's because you didn't want it. There are people, they hand out applications at fucking gas stations down there sometimes. When I worked down there, hundreds, thousands of contractors were there.
Awesome job. I was down there doing fiber optics in Motiva and a bunch of plants throughout there. One of the best paying atmosphere, great guys. Just one thing I absolutely or 2 things I absolutely hated, one more than other, but shaving.
Oh, yeah.
The whole shaving for a respirator is bullshit.
Yep.
And the FRs are bullshit. They're only good.
Hot.
They're only good for
hot.
flash fires. So the first little bit of a flash fire, or the first time you wash it, they're null and void.
Yeah.
All it's going to do is stick that shit to your skin and make the burn twice as bad. So why the fuck are we wearing them?
Got that right. So I was down there in Lake Charles, Louisiana, not too long ago, and I'm not going to say the plant's name where I was, but we had to wear full head-to-toe, one-piece long-sleeve jumpsuits because we were going in a clean area. Oh, it was a nightmare. New vest every single day. We had to bring bronze tools, copper tools in with us. It was a nightmare. I mean, it was terrible.
Do you know how much better that job would be if you didn't have to wear FRs and you didn't have to shave your beard off?
Just the beard in general. Like I get the respirator.
No, you
I
don't
get the
get it.
safety.
It doesn't seal with or without the hair.
Yeah.
The hair in between the seal is not going to be life or death.
Yeah,
It's not.
I just feel like at the point that I would need a
That's
respirator.
Dr. Fauci telling me I got to put a mask on. That's
Yeah.
about how much fucking credit that is.
I just can't see the respirator. Like in an emergency situation, I've already don't have the respirator on me.
You're already
I'm not,
gone.
Yeah, I'm not going to go out of my way to go get a respirator. I am fucking running my fat ass to the parking lot,
Yeah.
baby.
I'm Ricky
I'm
into the
out.
Gate, baby.
Yeah.
Ocean's at the gate, and I'm Rickying out.
I'm knees to chest, son.
I'm out.
Yeah, I don't get the whole thing. But like we said, if you're wanting a job, honestly, these days, all you got to do is look. And you ain't got to look hard. You can go to your local contractor in your hometown that does home improvement and be a carpenter's apprentice or be a guy that sweeps the shop.
I watched a
and
guy's
learn so
video
much.
the other day that said something about Boom Nation. Go to Boom Nation.
Oh, yeah. See, I work with Boom Nation all the time. They got jobs all across the U.S. All you got to do is download it.
But there's tons of apps like that. There's tons of the internet is your friend. Go use it.
It's the 21st century.
Exactly.
All these young people that complain about not finding jobs, and old people too. I mean, honestly, just pick up your phone,
It's lazy.
get on Facebook. 30 people have hiring ads out, and even if you got a network, ask somebody, brothers, cousins, uncles, aunts, sisters, wives. Somebody knows somebody that's hiring somewhere.
I truly believe if you are having a difficult time these days finding a job, you need to learn how to interview, because there is something you are doing wrong in your interview process or your presentation, or there's something you're doing wrong and you are turning off potential employers.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of people that can't find work because the interviews aren't going good and they just don't want to accept the job, you need to lower your expectations or change your geography.
Exactly. Work your way up.
Yeah. It's like this. If you're in a town of 6,500 people and you go to a local contractor and they tell you it's $18 an hour and you're going to work 60 hours a week, the same work you're going to be doing at that contractor, you could move to Dallas or Little Rock or Atlanta and make $40 an hour doing the same exact job, but
it's the same across the board.
But it's all about geography where you're working. Don't expect to get paid $40 an hour in a 6,500 people town.
Right.
You got to go to the bigger cities. They pay more because it costs more. It is more.
It's that surface stuff people don't pay attention to. This one's $18 an hour. This one's $40 an hour. But this one costs $9 to live, and this one costs $31 to live. Exactly. You're making the same money at the end of the day.
But people don't think about that. They say $1 an hour, $1 an hour. It's not about the $1 an hour. It's about where you live, how much it costs, and how much you get paid, and how much are they going to be an asshole to you where you're working. If you're working somewhere with 200 people, odds are you're just a number. You're in and out, baby. You fuck up, you're gone. You're working in a fab shop with 15 people. They're either going to be your family
or your enemies,
or you're going to be gone in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I got a question, Mr. Tyler. What's the best trade? You didn't answer. Like if you were not fishing and you had the ability, what would it be?
I really like construction, operating equipment and stuff,
So operator.
Yeah.
I haven't heard operator.
Yeah.
And
you mentioned crane operator.
That's a very specific type of operator.
Yeah, I was talking about him. I wasn't thinking about operator.
Yeah,
but heavy equipment operators, awesome.
They make good money.
I like moving dirt and stuff. I play around. We got a tractor at home. I play around skid steer, dozer. I thoroughly enjoy that. If the fishing didn't work out, if there was a way I could get my hands on a skid steer and do some small jobs and stuff like that, I wouldn't be opposed to trying something like that. Because there's always a million different things that you can do, that these big companies don't want to mess with. Little small, $2,500 to $5,000 jobs that. You could go knock something out like that a couple times a week and be pretty good. Yeah.
Also, I was sitting here thinking about it the whole time. I got to kind of go back to welder a little bit, and I'm not talking about and you would have to go through the trenches to get here, but I'm talking about that top welder, the guy that's got the fifth wheel, his woman's in it, his helper's down there doing all the work. All he comes in is he just comes in and lays the bead and he rolls out. That guy. That's a pretty good trade.
See, if I was a welder, I would want to have my own fab shop. Now, I'm a creative guy. The Outlaw Ordinance, we create all this artwork on guns. We do all these things. Prior to this, I owned a residential construction company, done finished carpentry, cabinets, trim work. But I completely lost my train of thought.
Train of thought is not a occupation. I don't think there's anybody.
It does require work to keep your thoughts in it.
We were on welder. You were talking about welder. You're a finished carpenter.
Yeah. Yes, fab shop.
Fab shop.
Being a welder and owning your own fab shop where you're not just welding industrial stuff and you can't get creative.
Well, I'm
talking about a fab shop and you can do creative work and build things. It's really cool.
Do fun stuff.
But he was talking about the millwright because you could change all the time. So that welder would be the same. He's traveling different cities. He's on the road.
He's welding off of blueprints and he's welding squares. Man.
I'm talking about that guy that comes in there that don't.
I'm talking about get a plasma cutter, cut some cool gates for the ranch.
On that subject, though, it would be really cool. And if I could go back in time and do it in high school, I wish I would have went to Votech and learned all the different trades. Learn how to weld.
I wish they still had Votech.
But when we were in high school, that wasn't cool. You know what I mean?
You were at the wrong high school because it was the shit where I was at.
And he was there 2 decades later.
Well, that's true,
but you see what I'm saying? Like now, being a little later in life, there's a lot of little things at home that I wish I could do that I just didn't learn. Haven't figured out how to do that I could have probably learned at Votech. As far as welding or
and that's also one of the big differences today. I make jokes about I make jokes about the different generations.
Right.
But me growing up, and I know Cheeto growing up, our dads had we done everything.
Right.
I literally, there's not much I haven't done and around the house. I mean, I am an electrician, a plumber, a carpenter, a welder.
You said it
all.
Stuff. Yeah, but you said it. We were a couple of decades before him in the way we were brought up, and so many things changed. But when I was a kid, you didn't go outside and play. You went in the shop with your daddy and you worked. You had to do that.
You had chores. You had real chores.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
real chores.
It wasn't like take the trash out to the road. It was like, okay, we're going to put a 17-mile T-post fence in today, and then we're going to make some games.
When I was 17 years old, my dad said be home at 2 in the morning. I'd come rolling in at 4. At 4:45, he would wake my ass up, take me out in the back, put me on a piece of equipment, on a shovel. He would work that night off of me.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Like, so.
When I was 10 years old, if it was summertime, I went to work with Daddy. Right. He also had a construction company building residential and finished carpentry. That's where I got it from. And you got up in the mornings, you went to work with Daddy. If you was that young, you was handing him tools. Until the point of
that's the only way you got money.
Yourself.
That's what I'm saying. I always had summer jobs, even my age, and the mid-20s, 30s, stuff like that. I always had summer jobs all the time. During school, I always played sports, so I didn't have a lot of free time after school, before school, stuff like that. But summertime, oh man, there's no telling what I'd be doing. I'd be digging a ditch, putting a fence up, dude down the roads.
Was your big ass playing volleyball?
Oh hell no, baby.
Well, this brings up another question.
I had summer jobs as well, but they weren't probably at the same extent that you guys were doing.
This brings up
I'm
another
mowing
question
yards,
for you,
doing
Tyler.
stuff like that.
You brought up you wish you had went to some trade schools just to pick up talents, and we talk about trades that you can go learn welding, you can go learn specific jobs at a trade school. Is there any form of classes for a young man right out of high school to go learn a little bit of everything?
Hey, and I'll tell you
there
what,
used to be.
There is still.
Where?
I just ran across them the other day. Hands-on, in person, you're looking pretty thin. You got some Votex around, especially down here in the South and stuff like that. But anybody can do this, and not even young people nowadays. So the power of social media is
YouTube?
insane. Yes, YouTube. I have found so many trades classes, electrical, welding, plumbing, where in 10 minutes, they're going to teach you how to turn a welder on, how to set it, what rods to use, stuff like this.
I never thought about that, but that is true. You could actually
there are channels on YouTube that teach you how to be a tradesman. And usually the people that are running these channels are men in their 50s and 60s. They're old cats showing the younger generations, and they're pretty decent. I mean, their camera skills are terrible, but the knowledge that you're getting is unparalleled, and it's free.
It's basic knowledge, so they really can't screw that up.
I don't know.
It's not in-depth stuff, but like,
again,
like
it's
he
not
was saying,
just
turn on a welder or do this.
Yeah.
Most people do not know what it's like. This when I was young, until somebody told me about it. If an outlet fell out of the wall, well, I didn't know what the fuck to do. Right. I didn't know how to rewire it, put it back in, stuff like that. What I was looking for, who knew?
Right.
1 5-10 minute video, now you know. And you know that little piece of information for the rest of your life, and it's stuff like that.
But these guys have to put forth a lot of effort. See, I had to put forth no effort at all. My daddy would beat my ass if my ass wasn't up and going with him. So growing
he
up,
didn't hit you hard enough. I know that.
Oh, he did too. Growing up in remodeling and home construction, you had to do a little bit of everything. So
and we learned little things like righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Yeah,
that's for more than just bolts. It works on electrical. It works on several different things. Why run backwards, young virgin? That's your color code on any phone cable, on any kind of Cat 5, 6, any of that. And we were taught that like nursery rhymes when we were kids.
Yeah.
You still say it, don't you, Cheetah?
Oh, I say it all the time.
Every time you open a Coke, you're like, righty, lefty loosey.
There you go. Every time, baby.
For me though, I like learning stuff. Like, I mean, I do look at YouTube a lot. I go to that a lot, but hands-on, really learning how to do it the right way the first time. You know what I mean? Like,
that's always better. But.
Right. I mean, yeah, you could always go to YouTube.
Well, until we introduced you while you're looking on YouTube, did you ever see a guy goes by the boss, like Ricky and the Boss?
No, but that demographic is so different. Demographic I'm in.
The people that follow me love a good joke.
What's funny is, like, we were at this fishing convention this year, Red Crest. I knew who Ricky was, just from you guys, really. And, I looked him up and stuff. And then we go to Red Crest. And I promise you, he signed more autographs there than Kevin Van Dam.
Yes. Yes,
there was a line out the freaking building the entire time.
Yes.
People crying meeting him. It blew my mind. I had no idea.
Okay, we gotta talk about this.
One guy that
We got to talk about
no
this.
idea. Okay, and then all right, hold on.
We got to talk about two things now.
Did he sends me a Snapchat of him signing his name on my merch?
Yes.
Yes, they done
I got to do what I got to do,
every
baby.
single one of my ranch hats sold at that event. It was the number one selling hat. It's raise them right, by the way. Because no matter what you raise them right, whether it be kids or animals or cows. So my ranch is raise them right. So I got these hats and shirts, and nobody's asking me for a signature. I look over, they're almost gone, probably 500 hats. He's over there giggling like, I've signed every one of your hats and shirts.
Yeah, I'm like, you damn right, this my ranch, son. Here you go, baby.
But, okay, so this family is standing there talking to John Michael. They're going on and on. The woman has tears in her eyes. The little kid's so happy to see him. The dad's enamored. They're shaking hands,
they drove
hugging,
like 4
taking
hours.
pictures. John Michael says, where are you from? And they spit out of town. He's like, really?
They
Like,
said,
yeah,
yes,
where are you from?
We drove like 8
hours or
eight
something.
hours
Yeah.
to be here.
He's like, where are you from? He's like, 15 minutes from your house.
Yeah.
They drove
no
like
way.
8 hours. They lived 15 minutes.
Yeah,
drive.
and it blows my fucking mind. Like it's not a secret where I live. Like everybody knows I live in Crossett, Arkansas.
It's in every video.
Nobody
House.
knows what Crossett, Arkansas is.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. These people drove 6.5, 7 hours to come up there and meet me because they knew I was going to be there, and it was awesome. I greatly appreciate it. But I live 15 minutes from
Yeah, that's
Like,
funny.
you could've-
That's
you
funny
could've
and all.
sat
We
on-
gotta
Then
go
the
to
other
this
one,
next
okay,
story.
now, he takes a break and he goes to the bathroom.
I went to the bathroom. And
Oh,
it
yeah, I
it
heard
is-
this one.
It is probably one of
in the convention center at
the
Red Crest.
worst run-ins with a fan, I guess you call it. That I've
And I don't
had
know who
here.
you are, dude, but you need to message one of us. Like, we need to send you some stuff because, I mean, to give a grown man a reach around in the urinal, like, you need a hat or something.
So there I was in there using the bathroom, standing at the urinal, stream heavy, just cruising, having a good old time. And I hear, I was like, hey, are you that guy? I'm like, yeah, man, what's up? And I mean, still midstream, full on hug from the back. And I was like,
big hug from the back.
and I was like,
Bear hugged him from the back.
I was like, stream stop immediately. And I was like, look, man. I was like, it's great to meet you. I need you back off me.
Never made eye contact. Never made eye
I
contact.
think he's adding that part.
and
He
I
didn't
was-
say back up off me.
And
He just
I was
looked at
like,
him.
I was like, man. I was like, I'll
What
meet
do you
you
do
in a
at that
minute.
point?
What do you do?
Your
you
dick
know?
is out.
I mean,
You're
know,
pushed up in a urinal. What do you say? Get off me. Come on.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
mean, what was I supposed to do? Throw an elbow? Get kicked out of the convention I'm supposed to be at? But and then I was like, look, man, it's great meeting you. Why don't you go meet me at my booth over there at the Outlaw stuff, and I'll hang out with you for a second. Let me wash my hands. I'll be over there.
Did you ever look at him though, to where you knew who he was?
No, I was fucking face at the wall, baby. I'm trying to zip
So
up.
if he came
I'm trying
back,
to zip.
if he came back later and actually met you like you told him, you didn't know it was him.
Well, not. I don't think he ever came back. Because I kind of like, you know how you're having a conversation with somebody, but you don't look at him because something just really fucking
Well,
weird
yeah, there
happened.
better not have been no
Like
eye
he
contact.
just-
No. I was just
Like
like,
he
yeah,
just
man, I'll
hugged
see
you while you had your dick in
Yeah,
your
that's
hand.
what I'm saying. It was really weird. And so that dude, he never came over there.
Well, we need to wrap up the topic here we started on. So
Oh, so last thoughts on it, man. Millwright, they could do whatever they want wherever they're at. They can always have a different job from day to day. I think it's probably one of the best careers in the construction trade, in my opinion. Worst, hands down. I just can't do concrete work, especially finishing. It's just not for me. What you got, Nacho?
Of what we've talked about, is there one that is easier to get started in the trade?
Oh, just in the general.
Like there's more jobs available. There's
just
more
be
demand.
a labor. Just be a
more
helper.
demand for any of the specific jobs.
inside of a plant, just go be a laborer
just-
inside of a plant.
Just be a laborer or a helper.
If Chip wanted to be a millwright and I wanted to be a welder, would you
Started as a laborer helper.
would you say both of us have an equal opportunity?
But no,
Plenty,
without
plenty
that.
of jobs for both
It
positions.
honestly all depends on where you go. If you walk into a fab shop and they've already got 8 welders, if it's a small fab shop, odds are not looking good, homie. But it's like this. You go to a big plant, you want to be a welder, you start as a helper, tell them, okay, I want to be a helper, but I want to be a welder's helper. You get wrapped up with a good welder or a good millwright, whoever you're helping, they teach you the tricks of the trade 6 months from now.
And you're
willing to, and you got to be willing
to go away from the house.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you, the easiest way to do this, talking about the plants got me thinking. Every plant has a main entrance. Park somewhere by the main entrance, close to the time everybody gets off. And just write down the company names of the trucks that leave that plant. And there's your list of where to go, who to go find them on Google. Yeah. Call them, find out who the boss is, or if they're hiring. That you don't have to go in the plant. You don't have to look at anybody.
Right. How about sitting in the parking lot with a 12-pack of beer, handing them out when they get off?
You probably go to jail at most plants because alcohol rules pretty hard.
But if you are starting as a welder's helper, I would advise you within a week or two of being his helper to take him out and buy him some beer, maybe dinner or something.
And maybe see what he's drinking or something first.
Don't show up with Pabst.
This dude,
Pabst, man, PBR is a quality beer.
That's what I was getting to. Is I would never have taken John Michael Stewart for a Pabst Blue Ribbon guy.
PBR is the pork chop of beer. It is the American backbone of beer.
I have seen, it might be the potted meat of beer, but it's not pork chop.
I have seen literally hundreds of people come up to us on the road, want to buy the man a beer, and they're like, "Really? You want the cheapest beer? I'm buying it for you.
I'm a cheap date.
Oh, you're cheap? All right.
I'm cheap.
What do you think? I guess it's my turn, but I don't really know. I've jumped from crane operator to welder. I know that the worst two is roofing and concrete, but I think you just kind of do what John said. You go somewhere, you get in there where they have multiple trades going on, and you spend a little time and you figure out what you want to do. Figure out the one that looks the best to you or is the most inviting to you. Befriend somebody, be their helper, and learn. That's the best you can do.
To flip back on what I said before, yes, absolutely, as bad as most people hate it, my job of jobs in the trade would be a safety man. But every position out there is a position you would promote up and move up into a safety position. So starting out from day one, you're not going to get a safety man job. But
hopefully you want to be the owner, because if you don't have drive,
I think a heavy equipment operator, to me, whether it be heavy equipment operator on a pipeline or at a residential construction doing dirt work.
So you're going to finalize the podcast by stealing Tyler's idea.
No, I'm agreeing with Tyler for the first time ever.
Oh, okay.
In
agreement.
I mean, honestly, I think it really doesn't matter what you do as long as you're happy doing it. You're always going to do something better that that you like doing. So.
Got that right.
Well, I can tell you, like the last 5 tournaments you came back from, you didn't look really happy doing it.
Not the last 5.
There was a middle stroke there. No, there was 3 or 4 in the middle, though. You were jamming.
So, like I said, started out kind of rough. It's hard to go have a bad event, come home, put a smile on your face. Even though it could potentially be the best job in the world. I mean, I get to fish for a living. It's great.
A good day or a bad day, man. You fish for a living. You do what you love to do.
I provide for my family, getting to do what I love.
And what a lot of people don't realize is there is very, very few professional bass anglers out there.
Right.
So if you come in last, you're still in the top 100 people in the world.
Yeah, and you actually made me think of that. After come back, had a bad event, was all sad. You kind of cheered me up with that, but it's all about momentum in my game. You have a couple bad tournaments. It's hard to get out of that slump or the rut. But, mid-season this year, I had a good event and then had 4 good ones in a row. So it's just, I'm sure it's like that with anything in life, though. I mean,
well, ladies and gentlemen, we have covered the trades. We have gave y'all our opinions. Mr. John Michael.
Well, I got one more question. Quick question. Easy answer.
Me. I'm the best looking one on the couch.
It's hard to look good through audio.
Your eyes may be going faster because you're so damn old. Is what's going on there. But look, we've had this conversation amongst ourselves multiple times. The man versus animal scenario. We covered.
Oh, we're back on the silverback gorilla shit.
No. See, so we did. How many people does it take down? How many people would it take to subdue a silverback gorilla? All our answers were vastly different.
Yeah.
Okay, we went to the silverback gorilla. Like, let's think of a more realistic animal here. How many people do you think it would take to bring down a giraffe?
Oh shit!
My personal opinion, two. Two people could
Is
take
that when
down.
did a giraffe become a vicious animal that's chasing after you?
Have you never seen a giraffe in action?
So
Them
is it
fuckers
two
are-
people
I
bare
ain't never
hands? Are we
seen
talking bare hands?
Bare hands.
Bare
Hey,
hands,
bare
no
hands.
way two people can take
No,
out a
he
giraffe.
says,
You're
have
getting
you?
stepped
He
on
says, have you
immediately.
ever seen a giraffe in action?
I
We're in
have.
fucking Louisiana.
You
Have
can
you
go to
ever
the
been to a
Monroe Zoo
safari
and see a
park?
giraffe,
Yes.
though.
They
That's
ain't going
what
to be
I'm
in
saying.
action. That's a domesticated giraffe.
I went on a safari trip one time in my truck,
And they'll
and one of them, one of them got
That
pissed
is
off.
not the wild.
No, but one of them got pissed off and started running.
Okay,
Them
so
suckers
we're
do like 30, and they start swinging their fucking necks.
So we're
Like they're
barehanded.
dangerous.
Like a golf club with that damn head on the end of it.
so same as the silverback. We're barehanded, no tools, no nothing,
not
just
even
just
a
your
pointy
hands.
stick, just your
But we're
hands.
not talking at the zoo or the safari park. We're talking about
In the wild.
Africa,
in the wild.
wild ass giraffe. Two people's not taking that.
I'm saying
No.
there's no amount of
Oh.
people taking a giraffe now.
All I need to do is get onto their back. That's why I need somebody to help
But how
me
the hell
jump
are
up
you
there.
going to do it?
I don't
'Cause
know. I'll
What are
be
you
playing-
gonna
bored.
playing
do from his
chicken?
back?
Playing
This
chicken?
motherfucker in a choke block, baby.
Hey, now hold up,
You're
back
gonna-
up, back
You're
up,
going
back
to
up.
physically choke out a giraffe.
Well, we had this conversation
No
on a
way.
silverback, and he said you couldn't choke a
You
silverback, that I
cannot
can get
choke
to
a
his neck.
silverback.
But he says we can choke a giraffe when
His-
playing chicken ain't tall enough.
so both of y'all,
his neck on a
Cheeto
silverback.
believes you can physically, one man could physically choke out a silverback gorilla.
If
There's
the
no way.
silverback
John
gorilla
Michael
is,
is now saying one man can physically
Well-
choke out a giraffe.
hold up,
You're
the
talking about a
silverback gorilla has to be
refrigerator neck?
subdued before one man can choke him. You're not just going to be one man holding on and choking him. No, he's got to be
No.
subdued. But the giraffe, you can't use anything,
His
so you
neck-
got to be a gymnast because you got to be able to flip your ass
No,
up there.
see, here's what I do. One man lures the giraffe beside a tree. I'm in the tree. My 300-pound dumbass comes flailing down out of the top of that motherfucker. Latches on.
Hold
up
on,
there
you
by
said
his
no
windpipe.
tools. Would the tree be a
I
tool?
feel like that is part of the landscape, so it wouldn't be considered a tool.
I could give you that. It's probably a tool, but I'll give you that anyway. I still don't think.
It's landscape. I'm not
I don't think
using
two men
it
can take
except.
Okay, I'm going to say 250 guys and 125 trees.
I
That's
just
the
think-
only way we're
I
getting
just
on
think
it.
two people's really. What you got?
10.
Nacho, 10 people.
10 people.
10 people's
And I
enough.
think you got to attack his legs and get his legs out from under him.
Oh, I get him on the ground. It's over.
Yes.
With two
Realistically-
people.
But it's gonna take-
Do you
it's
know
gonna
how
take-
big a giraffe is, though?
Yes.
Like, if you jumped on the back of a giraffe and tried to strangle him, he could literally just turn his neck and throw you
Yeah,
100
but
yards out in the
we got to
field.
take out kneecaps. So I'm going to
removing
agree with.
his ACL.
I'm
That
agreeing
ACL's
with
coming home me.
Nakia.
No shot.
I'm gonna have to go with Nakia. I think 10 to a dozen. If we're taking out the kneecaps, we got him subdued.
But how would you even take out his kneecaps? Because them things are
You
going to
have
be
10
going
people.
I want
everywhere. I mean, he's going to take 10 people
I
out.
want
bucking.
Kimbo slice that motherfucker when he's not looking. Soon as he goes up to nibble on a leaf, there I come, baby.
But listen,
Full speed.
I'm gonna take advantage of every zoo trip
His
and
legs
think
are
that
gonna
he's
be
gonna
this
walk up
thick.
to me to get stuff out of my hand like he does at the zoo, and that's when I take him out.
you're not taking out a kneecap.
I
that's
think
this-
four
that this-
grown men.
I think I got it.
I think 4 grown men could wrap around his front 2 legs and push them together. 4 grown men on his back 2 legs, push them together, bear hugging him, and make him fall over. Once he's on the ground, he's whooped.
You have to
I
understand the
think it's
giraffe
over.
we're talking about. All you got to do is put some peanuts in your hand and stick out the window, and he'll walk up to you. This is the giraffe that we're subduing.
We're not talking about wild African giraffe.
No, we was
No.
talking about wild African giraffe.
We're talking
feel
about
like-
We're not
Delhi
talking about it.
Zoo giraffe.
No,
we're not
Delhi
talking
Zoo
about
giraffe. I
domesticated.
think you could get 10 guys to take it down.
That's what I'm saying.
African wild crazy ass giraffe. When he you
In the
can't
wild,
you can't even
it's
get
all that
close
counts.
enough to take that thing down.
I'll wait till it's asleep.
No shot.
Do they sleep standing up? Do giraffes
I mean,
sleep
them things are
standing
getting
up?
away from cougars and
I bet they do.
rhinos and all kinds of other
I
shit.
bet
There's
they
no
sleep
way
standing
people are
up
taking
like
it
their
down.
neck hinged over or something right there.
At
Bet
some
they sleep
point, we got to
funny,
call episode 1.
This
So-
has got to be it then. I got to go see if giraffes sleep while standing up. Either way, though, guys, Outlaw Way Podcast episode 1, it's wrapped up. We've had the trades talk. I obviously think that me and another person could take down a giraffe. But we are out of here. The boss, Nacho, Cheeto, and Tyler. I hope y'all join us in on the next one. And hopefully we're posting these about once a week. So check back. It'll be on our Facebook page, YouTube, Insta.
We'll be
On all
reels,
those.
TikTok shorts.
baby.
Got that right.
Let's go.
But thank y'all for stopping by. I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as we did. And we'll see you on the next one.